Let this video be a proclamation that in 2024, I, quality individual, am going to decrease my Nintendo Switch backlog by playing as many games in my backlog as possible this year. Finishing games in our backlog is a pretty daunting task, I think, for a lot of us, especially if you're somebody who enjoys collecting Switch games or just, ends up getting a lot of Switch games because there's so much on the console. And with constant releases every month or so, it piles up, it builds up quite a bit. I talked about this in my most recent haul video, but of the 74 games that I have in my Nintendo Switch collection, I have 17 games that I have not played at all. And those 17 games are the focus of today's video, my Nintendo Switch backlog. Hi everybody, my name's Alex, aka Quality, and welcome back to the channel. So I've talked about backlogs a lot on the channel in the past. Last year, like around this time, I did a whole backlog video. Highly recommend checking it out. I'm really proud of how that one turned out. And I'd like to say that I've made an improvement in my backlog since then, but not as much of an improvement as I would like. So I've said it in a few videos leading up to this, but 2024, I really do want to decrease this backlog. I don't know if I'll be able to get through all 17 of these games by the end of the year, but I really want to try to focus on what I have, cut down on spending money on games this year, especially with not knowing what the second half of the year is going to bring, and really just focus on what I already have, because I have a lot of really good gems of games that I just haven't played on my Switch yet. So that is what my resolution goal of 2024 is. Yeah, it's a bit late in January to be making resolutions, but dang it, here we are. So what I kind of wanted to do for this video is go through every game in my backlog and talk about why I haven't played it quite yet, why it's been sitting in my backlog, a little bit of the history of picking up the game, all of that kind of stuff. It's almost like a mini Switch collection video, but like only a part of my collection, a very curated part of my collection. I also want to talk about whether it is a high priority game or a lower priority game on my backlog. What I haven't done yet, but I'm going to do probably just when I have some time, is I want to kind of organize all of my games in my backlog and rank them by how long they take to beat, interest level, all of that kind of stuff, and then kind of decide my game plan from there. So I'm going to be talking just based on, how I feel at the moment, what priority level a game could be. Is it something I want to get done with sooner, or is it something that I want to kind of push off a little bit? It might not be something that I'm super interested in right this very second. I'm going to use this video later on in the year as kind of like a how did I do once we get to the end of 2024 to see how many of these games I actually completed and checked off my backlog. But without further ado, let's get into it, because 17 games is still a lot of games in general. So starting with the very first game off of the backlog pile is AI the Sunium Files. Now, I've had this game for a while. I got it for my birthday, I think 2 years ago or so. It was a very exciting present for me because it's one that I had wanted for a really long time. I'd heard great things about this game. I had watched Let's Plays of this game, and I just knew I wanted this in my collection. And then a sequel came out, and I don't have the sequel because I've been waiting to finally play this one myself. If you look a little closer, you see the seal on this one's been broken. It is open. The cartridge is actually with the rest of my open Switch games in the other room. But I have tried to bring this game with me on multiple trips. If you watched my Australia vlog, I brought it with me to Australia and I didn't play it then. And that was kind of really bummy. I was really excited to get to this one, but I got distracted by Ghost Trick, but that's okay. But yeah, I have wanted to play this game for a really long time. And I think overall, this one is just one that I haven't played because I've had so many RPGs that it's been really hard for me to try to insert a non-RPG into what I've been playing, except for recently. Recently, most of the games I have been playing have not been RPGs, and it's been really refreshing. So I think AI the Sunium Files, especially because it's open, this is a high priority game for me to finish. I really want to start this, see it to the end, and play it all the way through. I love mystery games, which that's kind of what this is. It's very investigative. It's really cool. I love the premise. I highly recommend checking out this series. I've heard good things about the second game as well. I just wouldn't know from experience, but it's really cool. And I want to get into it, so this is definitely a high priority. It might not be the very next game I play, but it's going to be very soon. Next up, I just showed this in the haul video, Baton Kidos. So this game I'm very excited about. I talked about it in the haul video how I've always been really interested in the series but just have never dove into it. I didn't have the originals on the GameCube and they're kind of expensive to buy. So when they announced this coming to the Switch, I was like, oh, so excited. I think the mechanics are so interesting and just so cool. I love the music. I've talked about the music before. Like, the soundtrack is so good. And it's tough when it comes to Switch games that have multiple games on the cart. Like, in this, we have Baton Kidos 1 and 2. It's hard to count this as like, is this one game? Is this two games? For the sake of this video, I'm gonna count whatever I have physically in front of me as one game. And whether or not I played the second one on the cart, like, that's for later, like, kind of figuring out. Because when it comes to a collection like this, I'm obviously gonna play the first game first before the sequel. So, like, I guess in my mind, I'm treating the sequel for any of these that have a sequel on it as like, I don't have that yet. I need to beat the first one before I play the second one, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, so Baton Kidos is a more recent pickup, so that kind of puts it more at the forefront of my brain a little bit. It's also been one that I've been wanting to try for years, so I would say this is probably a medium priority for me. The one thing I don't know is how long the first game is. And I think especially for the beginning of the year where I'm really busy, I'm gonna be leaning more towards shorter gaming experiences that I can just kind of start at home late at night when I get like back from teaching and stuff, and then can play for a little bit and then I'm still making progress, as opposed to a longer game where it might just feel like I'm taking a way longer time to make progress. So that's the one thing that I'm not sure how long this game is. So I think for right now, this is gonna be medium priority. I really wanna get to it, but it just might not supersede some of the other ones. Next, Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition. This was a very generous gift from one of my Twitch community members. I'm still super grateful for it, but I have not opened this. So I've had this basically since it came out. And the reason I haven't played it, I think, is just being bogged down by so many RPGs. I love RPGs, it's my favorite genre, but so many of them are so long, and I am a very busy person a lot of the time, which sounds very, like, weird to say about myself, but I am. Like, I have a lot going on, and having a long RPG isn't always conducive to my lifestyle. And, like, I think when I got Chrono Cross, I don't even know what I was in the middle of. Like, I don't even know, but I was definitely playing a longer game when I got this game, and it just kind of fell to the wayside, which sucks because Chrono Cross, I've heard, is a wonderful game. I love Chrono Trigger, and I know this is kind of like a weird sequel to it, like, I don't know, but I've always, again, loved the music. I really like the graphics, the PS1 style, like, RPG graphics are just so nice. I really like it, so this has been something that's like, I need to play this game. But I also think this is probably another medium priority for me right now. It's not like the RPG I want to really dive into right this very second, but it's one that I need to play. I just need to play so I can have that gaming experience. Next was another birthday gift from a few years ago that I was really interested in. My mom was very into this game when she got it, and it's just one that totally kind of passed me by. Dragon Quest Builders 2. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't really gotten into this one. I'll be honest, even though I know it's a game that I really think I'll like, the idea of starting it stresses me out. I don't know why that is, though. I really truly don't know why that is. I don't know if it's just like the building of like the town and your like buildings, I guess, for lack of a better way, but like part of it just kind of stresses me out a little bit, and I've heard nothing but super relaxing things about this game, so I don't know why I can't get myself to play this one. This is also open. Fun fact, this is actually my mom's case. The copy that I got from TJ for my birthday was a loose copy, and she was like, I don't care, you can have the case for your shelf, whatever. So that's really nice. Thanks, Mom and TJ. But yeah, I haven't gotten into this one, and I'm really bummed about it. I do still think this is probably more of a lower priority of the Dragon Quest spin-offs that I have, and I feel really bad about it. Should I give Dragon Quest Builders 2 a try? Like, I've heard so many good things, and I don't know why I can't get myself to start playing it. So please convince me. Tell me to play Dragon Quest Builders 2. Another Dragon Quest spin-off and a more recent one is Dragon Quest Monsters, The Dark Prince. I'm really excited to get into this game, honestly. Like, I really enjoy the premise. I talked about this in the haul video too. I love the monster designs in Dragon Quest, and I've heard nothing but great things about this spin-off series specifically, but I haven't heard much about this game. In fact, I think only one person on my Switch friends list is playing it right now. But the cool thing about this is a pretty like short RPG, which is very appealing to me right this very second. And I think also because it's a newer release, I feel more inclined to want to play it. So I do think this is a higher priority game for me, which is good to say. Sorry, Dragon Quest Builders, again. But this one it seems more up my alley. And I think especially because like 2023 wasn't a great Pokemon year for me, to be honest. Like Scarlet and Violet were good for what they are. I think now that like enough time has passed, I'm kind of like very meh on Scarlet and Violet. I haven't bought the DLC and I don't really think I plan to. So like having a kind of more Pokemon-y but not quite experience would be good. And also if I'm like kind of categorizing this as like a Pokemon-like experience, let me know, because I genuinely don't know, but that's just kind of the vibes I get from Dragon Quest Monsters. So I think this will be a good kind of void filler, plus just a shorter RPG that I can start enjoying. So this is a higher priority game for me too. For the final Dragon Quest spinoff, we have Dragon Quest Treasures. I got this for Christmas last year, I think. And I have heard many mixed reviews on this one. I put it on my Christmas list before I think it even came out, it was still pretty new, and like, I love Dragon Quest, my mom loves Dragon Quest, so I was like, this would be a good one for like both of us to kind of have, and like I'll play it and then she can play it if she wants. Neither of us have really had an interest in playing it yet. I've heard some good things and some not so good things, that it's very collect-a-thon-y, which I go back and forth with if that's something I really like in games a lot of the time. Like if it's every so often, okay, sure. But a whole game about it is, yeah, I don't know. I want to give it a shot though. It deserves a fair shot. It's in my collection, so I might as well play it. But this is again a lower priority game for me. I almost kind of want to bump it up to medium priority just to like really see and formulate an opinion, but I think it's more lower priority. Next, we get into some of my Final Fantasies, starting with Final Fantasy IX. This is a game I really want to play. I've actually never played Final Fantasy IX. Fun fact, I haven't played anything past Final Fantasy VII, which is kind of wild. Like, I've played all the way up to 7. I actually have the Pixel Remaster Collection, and I haven't played all of those on my Switch, but I consider that like more of a collector item / I have played all of those games on different consoles, so like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I don't really need to replay all of them. I just wanted to have it so I could have more Final Fantasy on my Switch. But 9 is one I've never played, and everybody that has played it has told me that I specifically am really going to love this game. My mom has started this one. She's actually like really close to the end of this one and then kind of like gave up at the end a little bit. And she really liked this one. I just really like how this one, especially after like 7 and 8, is kind of a return to the more medieval kind of Final Fantasy, which is the part that, you know, I really like, liking more of the original series. So yeah, I'm really excited to get into 9. I think this is a medium priority. Don't know the length, but I'm very intrigued in the plot and the characters, and yeah. I also just love how this box is sideways. I've always liked that. I just think it's cool. This is a game I've been talking about playing on this channel since this channel's like birth, basically. Final Fantasy X and X-2. No, I haven't played it yet. No, it's not open. It is still sealed. I need to play this game. This is definitely a high priority RPG for me. Like, I have been wanting to play Final Fantasy X for a long time. I think I might have told this story before, but my mom, I'm bringing up my mom a lot in this video, but you know, she just loves her RPGs too. I get it. But so she was playing 10 like in the spring one year, and I heard Sight of Spira and I was just like, whoa, like that sounds so nice. That sounds so pretty. I love like the world that I'm seeing so far. So that's really what made me interested in Final Fantasy X, X-2. So I got this one for Christmas a few years ago because she knew that I was like getting onto it. And yeah, I need to play this game. Quite literally, this is still a high priority. It might be the next RPG I play. I don't know. I'm really close to the end of Super Mario Wonder, so like that's gonna be beaten really soon, and I know the next game I'm gonna play is gonna be an RPG, but will it be Final Fantasy X? I don't know. I really don't know, but this is a high priority RPG for sure. It's just continued to get away from me every time I've thought about picking up an RPG. I'm like, oh, well, let's play Final Fantasy X, or let me play this other, more newer RPG. So, I don't know. I think sometimes I buy all of these games, or like ask for these games in different gift-giving situations, I guess, with the intention of playing them right away, but then the newer games are coming out, so it's like, well, let me play those so I'm relevant with the times, and then I always have these ones to come back to, which I don't think is a bad way at looking at like your collection and your backlog and stuff like that, but it's something that I think I really need to stop doing so I don't end up with this kind of situation, because most of the games in my backlog are ports of other RPGs from different consoles in different eras, so I think that's where my problem therein lies. Regardless though, Final Fantasy X going in priority pile. After that, we'll see with 10-2. We'll see. I probably won't want to jump into it right away. And I've also heard that 10-2 isn't as good as 10, so we'll see when 10-2 happens. But Final Fantasy X itself, high priority. Now, this is one of Final Fantasy X's direct competitors for my next RPG that I'm gonna play, Nier Automata. I have been wanting to play this game for a very, 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 very long time. Many of my friends are like, you are gonna love this game. And I've heard nothing but phenomenal things specifically about the Switch port. So I'm really excited. This is kind of edging out Final Fantasy X a little bit. I think, no spoilers to Harvestella at all, but I think that game directly made me think of Nier for some reason. I don't know why, but that's just the connection that happened in my brain, and I loved that game. So I'm like, maybe it's finally time. Maybe it's finally time for Nier to like... Nier is just another RPG that just ended up kind of falling under the radar after I got it. It was a Christmas present a few years ago, and I was so happy to get it, and then I didn't play it right away. And I think that's been like the really great thing about this year is my Christmas games I've been playing like right away. Super Mario Wonder, WarioWare, those are already done because I started them right away and one right after the other. Whereas like a lot of my Christmas games of the past have just kind of fallen to the wayside. So Nier is a high priority game. It's very much so at the forefront of my brain right now. So this might be the next game I play. Possibly, we'll see. This next game, I am so excited to have as a part of my collection, not just because it's a game I've always wanted to play, but it's a game with a lot of meanings to me, and I'm really happy to have this one. And it's Okami. It's the physical version of Okami. I got this for my birthday or Christmas last year from TJ. And fun thing, before we were dating, we actually lived together during college, and one of my very like core memories of that time was watching TJ play Okami, which I don't know why. I had like seen Okami before, but I just didn't have it. But yeah, I'd like come home from class, he'd be sitting on the couch playing Okami, and I'd just kind of sit down and we wouldn't say anything to each other, and I'd just watch him play Okami. So this is a game that means a lot. I'm really happy to have it in my collection, but I don't think it's as high of a priority as some of these other titles, especially because I really want to stream Okami. I think Okami would be a really fun game to do on Twitch live with other people. I don't know, it gives me that kind of a vibe. I know it's a really long game though, so that's the only reason where I'm like, maybe it wouldn't be super suited to Twitch, but maybe it would. So I don't know. We're working on the Book of Mario Google Translated 1000 Year Door mod right now, so once we're done with that, then we can talk about what's coming next. But I do think this would be a really fun one to break out on stream at some point in time. And even if I don't do a full playthrough on stream, I think that's what I'm waiting for, to see if it would be a suitable game to play on stream. So this is a medium priority, medium low, honestly, because I know I'm going to get to this one. I just don't know exactly when is the right time. So, well, yeah, we'll say medium low. Now, this is one that I can already tell you is going in my high priority pile, because this is a game that I have no experience with the series whatsoever, but everybody else in the world seems to. Persona 5. I have never played Persona 5 once in my life. I want to so bad. I picked this up really, really cheap at one of the used game stores I typically go to, and it was such a steal for such a like clean copy. I was really, really happy to pick this up. But yeah, I have not played it yet, and I'm kind of scared too because I know how much of a time sink it's gonna be. Like, it is such a long game, but I remember in the fall I was really thinking like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna play Persona this fall, like the school kind of vibes, like it just makes sense, it just makes sense. And then I never did because I was going through gaming burnout for one thing, but it was also just really long. So I'm kind of still scared, but it's definitely a high priority game because I need to see why people love this series so much. Like, I can see like based on like, you know, what I've seen online and stuff from the fandom, but I need to know for myself why people love this game so much. So this is a high priority. This could also be the very next RPG I play. I don't know, but I'm setting myself up for a very, very long game coming next, I think. So this next one is another collection, one I talked about recently, and fun fact, I've only played one of these games out of this like trilogy, and it was the second one, and that is Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Yeah, I've never played the first Ace Attorney game. That probably wasn't the reveal you were expecting. So the reason I didn't play the first one was, so context, I played Justice for All on stream because I wanted some experience with the games on stream, and this was very soon after I watched the Game Grumps play the first game, so I was like, I know what happens in the first game, like, I want a game that I can genuinely react to and stuff. So I've never actually played the first game for myself, so I will be starting with that when I get back into this series, and I would say this is also a pretty high priority game. Like, I have been going through like a DS era renaissance, I suppose, in terms of the games that I've been liking, like with Ghost Trick and just really, really having Phoenix Wright on the mind. So this is a priority game that I think just I would be able to do in like not that long of a time. Like if I just need like a break in between games, like I think playing the first Phoenix Wright game would be a great way to pass the time. This is also a high priority because the Apollo Justice trilogy is coming out like next week, so even though I'm not buying that game right away, I still want to make more headway on this so that way I can pick that one up eventually as well. I think I might stream the third one at some point in time too and play the first one on my own, but I'm not entirely positive how that's going to work out. But I do think this is a high priority game for sure. High priority. Just like I did in the haul video, I'm going to do these technically three games together. That's Pikmin 1, 2, and 3. So obviously Pikmin 1 is the priority here because I haven't played any of these. So I would have to go 1, 2, and then 3, and then eventually by 4. But I think overall Pikmin is also, I feel like I have a lot of high priority games. So these are kind of like medium high priority, I think. Pikmin seems like a series that I'd be able to kind of pick up whenever I'm really feeling like it. And I think that's kind of where I'm feeling it. Like, I really want to play Pikmin. It's another series that I'm just like, I need to know why people love this series so much. Like, I can see it, I get it, I need to know in my own soul if I'm gonna be a Pikmin fan. So I think this is definitely a medium high priority, and after I play the first game, that'll kind of settle where I played 2 and 3. So I think that's where we're at. So I'm gonna put both of these in medium high because I think as a series, Pikmin has a pretty big like draw to me right now. Now this is a game I didn't know people didn't like because I had only ever heard positive things, so I'm really intrigued what you all will think about this one. But Shin Megami Tensei V. This would be my first SMT game at all. I unfortunately do not have 4 for the 3DS. I wish I did, but it's really expensive now, so I probably won't be picking it up. But I wanted to jump into the series at some point in time, and I know there was a port or remake, I don't know which, of 3, but I went with this one because it had just come out when I had asked for this for Christmas, and I was like, well, I'll get the new one. And I had always heard really positive things about this game, and then recently I've heard that a lot of people don't like it, so I don't know. This is definitely like a medium priority RPG for me. It's not as big of a priority as like Nier or Persona, but I want to play it. I want to know about this series as well, but I'm interested. Do you like SMT5? Like, is it Is it a favorite? Is it a not favorite? Like, let me know. How does it stack up to other SMT games? Should I bite the bullet and get 4? I don't know. I don't know, but I do have it. I intend to play it at some point in time. It's just not the highest priority, so I'm gonna put this in medium low, I think, right now. Because when I look at Final Fantasy IX, I already feel like I want to play Final Fantasy over SMT, and that's strictly due to familiarity of the series. But I think that's where we're sitting. Another collection of games that I have not played, and related to another series, very deeply connected to another series I talked about earlier, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. A very kind friend got this for me off of my Throne wishlist a while ago. I'm very grateful to have so many generous members of my community that have sent me games and stuff. It's really kind. It's really, really kind. Filling in the little gaps of my collection. But so I got this a while ago, and I knew I didn't want to play this until I finished the original trilogy. And now I'm probably not gonna play this until after I finish Apollo Justice, even though I think I don't know, is it more important to finish the 6 and then these? Should I just say forget those ones and play this one? I don't know, but currently I think I at least want to finish the original trilogy before getting into this one. So this is a low priority, not because it's a bad game, not because I don't want to play it, but I just have other things to accomplish first. And then the final member of my Nintendo Switch backlog is Trials of Mana. I've had this game for forever. Like, I truly have had this game since like my second year of having a Switch. Just didn't play it. I just have not played it. After playing Legend of Mana this past year, I got on a big mana kick. And I really want the collection of mana at some point in time. That's like the only Switch mana game I'm missing, is just the collection itself. But after playing Legend of Mana, I was like, okay, I need to get to Trials of Mana. But! There's always a but. This is gonna be another stream game. I'm definitely going to stream Trials of Mana. It's a good RPG, I think, for streaming, because usually the mana games aren't that long. They're a little bit more, like, active, I think. So there's not as much as a lull in between battles and stuff. So I think this is gonna be another stream game, so I'm very interested to do this. This will probably happen not super duper soon on stream. Again, gotta finish Paper Mario. And then we'll kind of decide Okami, Phoenix Wright, Trials of Mana, something else, I don't know. But I do intend to play this one on stream. And if for whatever reason it doesn't work out where I can play it on stream, I have the confidence that this would be a game that if I just need a like very kind of more quick RPG, that I would do Trials of Mana. That's kind of how I felt with Harvestella, and why I started out the year playing Harvestella. Was it was a shorter RPG with some cool new elements that I don't always see in a turn-based RPG. And that's why I loved that game so much, and I think why I was so able to get into it. And I think Trials of Mana would be kind of the same deal. So this is another one that's gonna go in lower to medium priority, just because I don't have as much of a rush or need to play this one quite yet. And that was my entire Nintendo Switch backlog. 17 games that I would really like to at least start this year. But even if I get through half of these, I will feel so accomplished just to kind of dwindle it back. Because I know realistically, with the new releases that I do want this year, I'm not going to be able to get through all of these games. But I want to make as big of a dent as possible. Because this isn't even talking about like my overall backlog. Like, I have some 3DS games literally staring at me in the face right now being like, why aren't I in this video that I need to get through, and some of those are pretty long because they're RPGs. And my Steam library isn't too hefty with stuff, but I have some games here and there on different consoles that I do really need to get to. But my Nintendo Switch backlog is definitely like the big one. And it's the console I spend the most time playing, so I figured it would be a good idea to just do kind of a zoomed in focus of what's in this backlog specifically and how I want to go about tackling it. So yeah, and I have my 6 games that are my high priority games, so which one of these will I play next? Who knows? Again, I'm probably gonna finish Mario Wonder today, so we'll be starting one of these over the next few days, so we'll see what I end up choosing. Let me know what one I should start playing. It might be too late by the time this video goes up, but let me know which one of these 6 glorious games should I start playing next. But anyways, I hope that this was kind of a fun look into like my Switch collection, my kind of ideas when it comes to collecting and what goes in a backlog, what gets played immediately, all that kind of stuff. And I highly encourage you, if you also have a big backlog, try to make it a goal to like get some of your backlog done this year. There's probably some really, really good titles in there that I know you've been wanting to play, so why not give it a shot? And again, if you need kind of tips, you know, going through your backlog, I know somebody who posted a pretty okay video last year about it, wink wink. I'm gonna have to take some of my own advice. But yeah, if you liked this video, consider giving it a thumbs up, commenting on this, letting me know what game I should play out of my backlog, what you have in your backlog that you're itching to play, or a game I should add to my backlog. Because, you know, I do love buying games just as much as I love playing them. That's not true, but you know what I mean. And if you're not already subscribed, maybe consider subscribing. We do lots of fun gaming content on this channel, Nintendo Switch, or otherwise. And we're really close to 5,000 subscribers. Like, we probably won't have reached it by the time this video comes out. So we're still pushing. And yeah, it'd be really cool to hit that milestone in like only a little over a year of being on YouTube. Like, that would be kind of wild. So yeah, if you like it, maybe stick around. We'd love to have you here. But that is going to do it for this video, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. Boop.